Hello and welcome to Camp Xbox. Couch co-op games are sorely missed as we move further into the future. The feeling of getting together with a friend or two and playing a game on one console is something special. Yet, if we look back, there were some awesome releases that you could play together on older consoles, like the original Xbox. Today, I have some great ones picked out for you, and they all have campaign co-op, so no competitive or party games. I picked games where you can just play through the story together. One notable exception is Halo 1 and 2, as I think those are obvious choices and you should definitely play those co-op if you haven't. However, let's highlight some other games you might not think about, and this is not a comprehensive list. I just chose 5 that I enjoy and kept it at 5 for brevity, but be sure to let me know what I should put on the next list. This is a great topic, and there are some good ones that I didn't include today. All footage was captured off of an original Xbox, and I'd like to thank my YouTube channel members for their support. But let's go ahead and hop into this one. First on today's list is Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. It was a toss-up to include either this or the second one, but since I've never discussed either of them before, I thought I'd start with the first. This came out on the PS2 in 2001, but made its way to the Xbox in 2002. It was published by Interplay and developed by Snowblind Studios. It's a top-down action hack-and-slash RPG where you control various fantasy characters. You traverse dungeons, do quests, get loot, level up, and kill monsters. It's the action Dungeons & Dragons game made for consoles, and it's a great time with somebody else. This game is played from a top-down perspective, and it can be played with 2 people, and each of you share the same screen. So you move through dungeons, taking on enemies, and you do some light puzzles. I always find these Diablo-style games to be perfect for 2 people getting together. The action is simple, with you using ranged or melee attacks. You simply go through onslaughts of enemies. I think it's fun because you work together on divvying out equipment and gold. Both of you can move through menus together, level up, and equip items yourself. It's a great RPG experience, and it's not too overwhelming. There is a hypnotic rhythm to having enemies flow at you and you just kill them over and over. This game is not a pushover and is quite hard. You have to take your time and pick through enemies and work as a team. It makes for a rewarding time once you clear out an encounter. Clearing out dungeons to me is one of gaming's great pleasures, slowly working out the map, trying to get every piece of loot while working together to stay alive. It's so much fun. Even if the maps and locales are the usual fantasy affair, I still find the game to be charming with some great looking graphics for 2002. It manages to get the sound and music down as well, and it makes for a fun fantasy world that is great with someone else. If you're looking for something where teamwork is critical and a solid skill tree to level up with lots of loot, then this is a solid choice with the second player. I had a blast with it, and it makes for one of the better dungeon hack-and-slash games on the system, which this system has a surprising amount of. This game is also backwards compatible on the 360 if you'd like to play it there as well. Let's change it up with a great first-person shooter with TimeSplitters 2. This came out in 2002 and was published by IDOS and developed by Free Radical. TimeSplitters offers a 2-player co-op split-screen campaign, meaning you can go through the whole campaign of this game with another person. On top of that is an arcade mode that features versus games, so you can play that on top of the story. In this game, you play a group that has to travel through time to collect time crystals. You hop around between a ton of different time periods and complete goals in each one. It's very similar to games like GoldenEye or Perfect Dark, where you complete various goals in each level. And that's not the only GoldenEye comparison. The shooting and health system feel the same, so if you have memories with that game, you will feel right at home here. Luckily, I'm a fan, and the person I played with for this video grew up with it as well, and we had a great time together with TimeSplitters 2. It has that classic shooter feeling, but with a level design that is a bit more intuitive and interesting to roll through. I think the levels are what makes TimeSplitters what it is, and this entry has some awesome ones. You go all over the place, with one of my favorites being Old Chicago, where you deal with old gangsters in dark city streets. It sets up its mood so well. It can get unexpected too, going to places like 1800s Paris, and you get to explore eras in this game that you wouldn't normally see, each weaving in their own ways, allowing itself to be exploratory and fun. I also always appreciate the Free Radical style. They have a unique way of animating their characters, and this game's overall look is really nice. I think its variety in locales helps keep this one continually fresh. It's a fun one to play with someone who's never played it before because it's always doing something surprising. Mix in some awesome music and you have a shooter that's fast and fun, but also thoughtful in overall game design. TimeSplitters is one of those series that I wish continued on, but unfortunately we stopped getting these at some point. Yet we still have these to go back to, and the fact that you can roll through the story with someone else makes it that much better. This one never made the cut onto the 360, but it is available on 1 in-series consoles, so it's easier than ever to play this and its sequel through backwards compatibility. Next is Hunter the Reckoning, which is the first entry in this series based on a tabletop game called World of Darkness. It was released in 2002 and was developed by High Voltage and published by Interplay. This is one of the few examples of a game releasing on both the GameCube and Xbox, but never for the PS2. This is a horror game that is similar to Dark Alliance from earlier, except that this game features 4-player co-op. You get to select from a mix of 4 characters, each of whom has different melee weapons and guns. You go through destroyed areas that have been taken over by evil forces. Not just zombies, but phantoms and giant monsters. This feels like the early steps towards the modern twin-stick shooter. You aim and shoot at enemies, but you get a nice mix of melee in there to add some fun variety to the action. This is the type of co-op game where you share the screen and you explore giant areas, looking for items and things to kill. In a co-op experience, it's nice to have a simple game at its core, a game everyone can pick up and understand immediately. I need to kill tons of enemies and get to the end of the level. It's this simplicity that makes this game work and kept us playing it for quite a while. It's also got a unique horror atmosphere. It's this great encapsulation of the early 2000s, having this overly badass feel with disgusting creatures, and to be honest, I wouldn't want it any other way. I think Hunter has a fun look that makes it stand out. The gameplay is easy to get down and feels a bit arcadey. I like that you can just pick up new weapons on the street and mix that with a bunch of your different items. You unlock unique skills with each character, which can make some characters healers, or it can make some characters damage dealers, giving each class a unique flair and a reason to level up. I do think the shooting can get a bit tiring though, as this game requires you to hit the trigger with every shot and you shoot a lot. On the downside, I found this a bit annoying, but it doesn't ruin the game by any means. It's just something to get used to and something I'd warn you about. Overall, I'd say that Hunter the Reckoning offers enough arcadey fun to keep a whole group interested. It's got a unique atmosphere and tons of action to go through with some insane boss battles. A nice touch is that this game is backwards compatible on every Xbox console after this, so you could play this on whatever Xbox you have. This one is definitely a game you should keep around to play with some buddies. Really quickly, I want to thank you for watching so far. If you're enjoying this video, it would help a lot if you leave a like, as it really helps me out in the algorithm. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe as well. Also, comment with any memories of the games I'm talking about today. I would love to hear your experiences, but let's go ahead and move on. If there was a game built for co-op on the Xbox, it would be Brute Force. This game came out in 2003. It was developed by Digital Anvil and published by Microsoft Game Studios. This was an Xbox exclusive that had a lot of hype, but the hype died down soon after its release. It was touted as the next Halo, but as we move on years after that and look at it for what it is, it's a fun squad-based shooter that feels a bit ahead of its time. It gives off a bit of a Gears of War vibe. This can be played with up to 4 people in split screen. There is a deathmatch mode as well, but the campaign can be played through completely with a group of 4. I think when you play this with multiple people is when the game really begins to shine. Alone, it's about team management. You move 4 characters around a level and position them in ways to take out enemies easily and move them together. But in multiplayer, you get to make each character playable by a person, and then you have a great tactical group group game all about planning, but also about shooting a bunch of aliens. It's not so focused on the tactics, so it's not bogged down. It knows that you're there for shooter action, and I do think it delivers that. Each of these levels has you moving through a mix of different weapons and taking on tons of enemies. The shooting is smooth and reactive and feels great for the time. It's nice that every crew member has their own abilities, so everyone you play feels unique. You can use double guns, go invisible, use auto-targeting, or charge at enemies. I think whenever you get a group though, you're going to be fighting for whoever gets to play Brutus, but if you play as someone else, it's cool to get into their role and figure out how to play them best. This game gives you a lot of tools and fun level design, and it makes it a memorable time with a group. Throw in the excellent Xbox color palette and some fun music, and it's a good time to play with a buddy or two. I got to play through it recently, and I felt like it helped my perspective on this game a lot. This game also supports System Link and is backwards compatible on the 360, though I'm a bit sad that this one has not made it onto any modern Xbox consoles. The final game on today's list is Toejam and Earl III. This is the Xbox exclusive third entry in the franchise. It was released in 2002 and was developed by Toejam and Earl Productions with Sega as publisher. This might be my most controversial pick today, but I couldn't not put it on here. To me, as well as the person I played with, the original Toejam and Earl is one of our favorite co-op experiences. The roguelike exploration elements are really cool, so it's hard not to put this Xbox exclusive entry on today's list. I think it might have some flaws, but it is one of the most unique co-op experiences you will get on the console. This game can be played with two characters, either with the two titular characters or the new alien Letitia. Your goal is to explore many areas, convert humans, and collect items. This is a mix of a big collectible game with the classic gameplay style of Toejam and Earl. You move around islands, picking up presents, and figuring out how to get off the island. Though now you're able to do more action by hitting enemies, you collect more stuff, and this game features a large hub world. I'm always surprised by how much content is in this game. This game features a dynamic co-op experience, meaning that you can play on one screen if you're close to each other, and then if you separate, it will go into split screen. I think it works for this game, and I like that it's trying something different. Sometimes this game can be about teamwork, but it also can be about exploring different parts of the island. I think the split screen dynamic helps the experience overall. It all controls fairly well, and I just had fun trying to collect all the objects with somebody else. If anything, this is a game that feels unique on the Xbox, and you won't find much else like it on there. I know some out there don't love the humor, and it is a bit dated, but it has its fun moments. It feels grounded in old 90s hip-hop culture, and you can definitely tell in the music, but I think that's part of the fun. The raps aren't complex, and it's extremely silly, but that makes sense for the silly universe this game exists in. It's a game that you can laugh and cringe at together, and honestly, that's some of the most fun you can have with somebody else. The biggest downside, though, is that it's not backwards compatible with anything, so if you want to play it, it has to be on the original Xbox.
Oh my, I'm being chased! You're a bad
Well-deserved
slamming some points! Where's my money?
But that does wrap it up for today. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, it helps me out in the algorithm. Subscribe to keep up with more retro Xbox content. Comment below with any memories with any of these games or what I should cover next. And be sure to check out my second channel, Camp Extras, for more gaming content. And I want to give a huge shout out to my YouTube channel members. Thank you so much for your support. You really help out the channel. And I'll see you here next time at Camp Xbox.